MEF 16 Perception Part 1. Perception is the beginning stage of our continuous creation of mind energy. To learn more about how our perception energy technically functions, it's useful to first zoom in. The life energy activity that combines to form our perception biofield is made of billions of individual life energy dynamics, each with individual frequency. The frequency of the life energy dynamics is made with the meaning of our thoughts. As we naturally grow through life, our DNA learns to refine a wider and wider range of frequencies, that is, a wider and wider range of thoughts, and then uses these frequencies to refine the variety of life energy dynamics vibrating in our perception biofield at any moment. Let's look first at how these tiny little DNA molecules naturally refine our raw heartbeat energy into rays of light energy that contain information. The basic process is quite simple, really. Our DNA is malleable and it can adjust its size easily. The thing that directs our DNA to change and invariably alter the frequency and even amplitude of the life energy it refines is our intent. The more effort and intent that goes into making a thought, the faster the frequency and the shorter the amplitude of the life energy dynamics refined will be. Once we know how to make a thought, a frequency, it will always be available in our own live perception biofield for us to use again and again as needed. The energy activity of the billions of life energy dynamics that form our live perception biofield can be thought about using another quick science fiction analogy. The life energy activity of our perception operates like the sensors of a starship, an energy bubble made of and therefore saturated with billions of individual energy dynamics, rays of energy. The wider the variety of the life energy dynamics vibrating continuously in the perception biofield, the clearer the perception of our mind energy. We grow through life learning to make our perception clearer and clearer. Moving through the mind energy factory and looking out the windows describes the way our clarity of perception grows. We begin life creating our mind energy through the first chakra. Once we can easily make all the thoughts from the first frequency range and learn to leave them operate freely as perception life energy dynamics, the single mind created by the process becomes able to operate comfortably from the top floor executive suite. Most people regularly live with at least the first chakra operating with synchronization, all the windows open. This means that at least one small fraction of our total mind energy is always vibrating in the fifth dimension and is therefore always technically connected, albeit slowly, to the universal internet. We often first describe this small, ever-present part of our mind energy as our conscience. As we grow, the connection speed of our regular mind energy becomes stronger. As we experience life, we learn to continuously add the new specialty life energy dynamics, the new thoughts of the next chakras, to in effect upgrade our ever-present perception biofield. It's important to realize here that experiences technically create thoughts, and that's why life experience can be the only way to truly grow and learn. There can be no third-dimensional one right way for all to proceed through the learning about creating the mind energy of life. There's just so much to learn. The right way for ourself, however, is always known by our higher self, the quiet mind created with the energy of the executive suite, the MEF overdrive gear. We may not like some of the advice communicated in our mind energy by our higher self, but we can remember that the natural purpose of the higher self isn't to please us. It is instead to ensure that we certainly learn to refine and activate all the technical frequencies required to connect our mind energy permanently to the universal internet. When we zoom in to realize a little bit more about the life energy of our perception, we learn just how easy it can be to cause technical problems in the flow and regular operations of our own mind energy factory. Let's now zoom out to look at some of the greater effects our perception mind energy can have. That is, how does our perception life energy affect the big picture? Perception, when we zoom out, can be looked at by checking for sure which perception life energy dynamics are truly currently operating in our own biofield. Traditionally, we've seen this innate understanding used to play tricks. Perhaps you remember being very young and Dad or someone older than you playing tricks with you. My dad would hide the wine cork, and after a funny little dance, would then hold out his arms and say, "Which hand?" We would giggle hysterically and choose. By a few days after, however, we'd figured out that he couldn't truly make the wine cork disappear, and then we'd ask to please check both of his hands. Incredibly, both hands were empty. No wine cork anywhere. This, of course, drove us wild, and we looked for it intensely. It ended up being in his back pocket. In the beginning, we'd not yet experienced the thought, the frequency, that Dad might hide the wine cork and try to trick us from the start. For this very short stage of our young life, amateur magic tricks were simple to play, because we, as inexperienced children, hadn't yet experienced such tricks, and therefore hadn't yet activated that particular frequency in our individual perception biofields. When we can't technically perceive an idea, a frequency, we don't even realize it exists. The same kinds of technically simple tricks of mind energy happen to all of us all the time. Let's use the digital picture analogy to help build our understanding of how such mind energy tricks technically work. We'll use a basic 7 by 8 inch example of a picture of two bunnies to represent all the information of our world. This is the picture as viewed through the first chakra, the first floor of the mind energy factory. The clarity of our mind energy using this frequency range is comparable to a resolution rate of about 1 dot per inch. And this is the picture as viewed through the 8th chakra, situated at the other end of our mind energy factory. Its perception clarity is comparable to a resolution rate of about 128 dots per inch. Let's say now that we want to play at being the magician and set up a simple mind energy trick in our own local environment. We'll make the important information that we'll aim to hide, like the wine cork in Dad's game, represented by the colour of the bunny's eyes.